neatly navigating those neural networks to nudge the knowledge net wider. It's Accountech Bytes, your roundup from the week in accounting technology with me, Tom Herbert. Thanks for tuning in. And as always, if you'd be kind enough to like, subscribe, or follow, that would be great. Let's get straight into the news. Now, I was off last week for a bit of a winter break, but one story that caught my eye from my eyrie in the Malvern Hills was around Microsoft's AI chief ringing the closing bell on white-collar jobs, which are apparently ready to be automated by AI in the next 2 years. So Mustafa Suleiman told the Financial Times that AI is approaching what he described as human-level performance in most office-based roles and outlined this 2-year timeframe that would affect workers across industries, including law, accounting, and marketing. He pointed to software engineering as an example of how roles are changing, saying that Microsoft's engineers are using AI-assisted coding for the vast majority of their coding work, because obviously software engineering, law, accounting, and marketing are all exactly the same. I went on to say that professional grade AGI, so artificial general intelligence, capable of performing most cognitive tasks humans can handle, will emerge in the next 2 years. Plenty to say on that, but I most enjoyed this riposte from bookkeeper Sarah Bunn, who said that working daily with accounting software, the reality on the ground is a very different story. So using current AI for bank reconciliations, the system suggests matches between bank feeds and internal transactions. An example Sarah flags is a payment out for £1,800 to company A, with the software's AI confidently suggesting a match for a supplier invoice of the exact same amount. Unfortunately, that invoice belonged to company B. Had she clicked OK, company A would remain unpaid in the system, company B would be incorrectly marked as paid, creating what we like to call real-world consequences. Angry suppliers, ticked-off customers, you stuck chasing a refund from a supplier, while the software vendor takes no liability or accountability for any of it. Let's stick with AI. There's going to be quite a substantial AI section, so if it's not your bag, maybe forward to the middle of the video. Anyway, QuickBooks parent company Intuit and Anthropic, they call themselves an AI safety company, which seems a bit of a contradiction in terms. But anyway, they're the guys behind Claude, one of the world's biggest AI models. And Intuit and Anthropic have announced a multi-year partnership to bring custom AI agents to mid-market businesses on the Intuit platform. Now, usually releases like this are incredibly vague and there's a lot of waffle about time saved without any specific examples. So I'm going to have to give this one credit for listing a very specific imaginary case study. The example is a regional restaurant group with 15 locations will be able to prompt Intuit Intelligence, their AI layer, to orchestrate and deploy Claude, Anthropic's AI, within the Intuit Enterprise Suite. You keeping up? The custom agent will be able to combine third-party data from sales and inventory apps with their Intuit data, such as expenses, across every location to automatically highlight margin variances, identify underperforming locations, and ultimately drive efficiencies. This also came in while I was away. Kiwi Cloud Pushers Xero announced that it will be bringing its AI-powered data capture and extraction directly into its platform for UK customers, with the rollout taking place over the first 2 weeks of March. So it says here in the release, at no extra cost, Xero customers on all business edition plans will soon have the ability to snap photos of their receipts directly through the Xero accounting app, email documents to a bespoke address, or drag and drop over the web by embedding large language models to extract the data. Xero will be able to read those receipts, sales invoices, and rental statements, extract the data, and suggest which existing bank transactions match those records for customers to review and improve. On to something else Xero related from friend of the show, Heather Smith. Apparently, Xero has changed its logo. It's been ongoing for a couple of months. It's just the sort of thing I don't notice, much to the frustration of my wife. But when it comes to Xero, the circle has become a square. Richard Sargent makes the obligatory square pegs, round holes gag below the line. But if you're interested in all things design and fonts, there's actually quite an interesting discussion in the comments. Cloud ERP Suite NetSuite has announced a bunch of AI updates. These include an intelligent close manager, AI powered bank transaction matching, report narratives, customer summaries, and advanced pricing. A bit of Raise news and audit confirmation app Circuit has announced 22 million in growth equity funding. They say they use the investment to accelerate product innovation, expand its AI-powered workflows, deepen its bank API connectivity, and scale its US presence. Enterprise system Stacks has also announced a $23 million raise to do what it calls reinvent finance operations with agentic AI. So the Stacks playbook seems to be around transaction level data, which is often scattered across businesses in spreadsheets or other locations, forcing teams into manual workarounds. Stacks has developed a data layer that connects directly to finance systems to create that fabled single consistent view across all systems. If you'd like to know more about Stacks or the modern ERP system, we've done a white paper with them, so feel free to click on the link in the description and download that. It's a top read. And here's another raise, this time from AI assistant Ditto, which has raised 1.5 million euro to free the accountant. So according to Ditto founder Niels von Drisse, this is an AI assistant that handles the daily grind. What does that mean? Well, I guess it's embedded into your system and helps accountants stay on top of client work, emails, and deadlines. In my view, if you are experimenting with an AI assistant, it's probably better to embed one that is secure and specific to your industry. There's a lot of crazy apps out there. This from TechCrunch reports on a Meta AI security researcher who embedded AI assistant OpenClaw into her computer and watched it run amok. Great word. So she told the OpenClaw AI agent / assistant to check her overstuffed email inbox and suggest what to delete or archive. Instead, it started deleting all her email in a speed run while ignoring her commands from her phone, telling it to stop. Yikes. Let's round off the AI section with a reminder that Accounting Web has a weekly AI for Accountants email. It's with you every Monday. If you'd like to get it, click on the link in the description to find our newsletter page, tick the box, hit the yellow button, and away you go. Those who've been following the Post Office Horizon scandal will take a small crumb of comfort from the fact that perpetrators for Jitsu will be out of the system by summer 2027. So the Post Office's Chief Technology Officer told Computer Weekly that Fujitsu's Horizon system will be eradicated by the summer of 2027. Quite remarkable story here, as one of the world's most sophisticated lenders, BlackRock, via their HPS investment arm, have been hosed for more than $400 million by a bunch of fake invoices. So they reached a credit agreement with telecoms entrepreneur Bakim Brambat and accepted as collateral accounts receivable that Brambat's firm had acquired from other businesses. Unfortunately, on reviewing those invoices, an analyst noticed that the email address domain on one didn't match what was on the website of the company it was supposed to be from. The lender scrambled to get answers from Brambat, but he left for India and stopped picking up the phone. 2 weeks later, they were in court with HPS accusing Brambat of a breathtaking fraud. Brambat disputes the allegation of fraud. Now, if you thought the Birmingham City Council IT transformation was bad, well, the folks over at the Quebec Vehicles Agency have said, hold my moose, because their rollout of the SAP ERP project has gone more than £130 million over budget, has taken 9 years, gone live 3 years later than predicted, and they weren't even sure they needed it. Anyway, one thing you definitely need in your life is the Finance, Accounting and Bookkeeping Show. 11th and 12th of March at the NEC in Birmingham, free for finance professionals to attend. I'll be there, and so will sessions like these, where the folks at Sterling Bank will be telling me all about their new in-house accounting and tax experience, and what it can bring to the market. Let's get into some product updates before we sign off. And BrightPay has a couple for us. So in its cloud payroll tool, it now has an auto enrollment journey document, the ability to batch download pay slips. You can combine reports as one PDF, batch auto enrollment letters for those dealing with that at scale. Employees can now access their auto enrollment letters directly through the employee portal. Your clients can now send employee portal access instructions directly from their client portal. And your clients can now send employee portal access instructions directly from the client portal. Sticking with all things payroll, and Intuit QuickBooks has rolled out 3 new payroll plans. The core plan is simple automated payroll for directors and small firms. The premium plan adds time tracking and self-serve tools. And it says here that the elite plan is the complete solution with project profitability tracking and geo-fencing. Staying on a QuickBooks theme, this from Iris Elements, and you can now import your trial balance data directly from QuickBooks into Iris Elements accounts production. Anti-money laundering tool Zama AML now has a client portal which offers a consolidated view for your client, allowing you to share with your primary contact via email, or you can take the secure link and share it via your preferred method. In accounts receivable app Advin, you can now send personalized sequenced reminders from your own email address with its autopilot function. And you can take a payment from anyone with a reusable payment link. Now, last year I covered With Otto, the automated bank reconciliation app from Cambridgeshire-based firm The Number Ninja. Well, they've just released a new feature into testing called Auto Capture. As you might imagine, this is a receipt capture app which runs automated checks, allows users to review it, and publishes it straight to Xero. And that's your lot for today. Thank you very much for watching. As always, if you could like, follow, or subscribe, that would be marvelous. I'll be back next week with another video. Bye for now.